Hey there, Troll Hub fans. It's your girl, Jocey, and I love a good law and order situation. But some laws, they're just plain weird. We're talking head-scratching, what were they thinking kind of weird. And guess what? They're still on the books. So buckle up, guys, for a wild ride through some of these wacky laws. Trust me, you won't want to miss this legal roller coaster. Hit subscribe and ring the bell for more crazy content. Let's do this thing. First up, we're jetting off to Switzerland, land of chocolate, cheese, and some strict bathroom etiquette. In Switzerland, it's illegal to flush the toilet after 10 p.m. in an apartment building. Imagine that. It's like Cinderella, but your toilet turns into a social time bomb. The Swiss value their sleep more than late-night bathroom breaks. Maybe they're onto something. So, what's the deal with this potty training law? It turns out the Swiss are super serious about noise pollution. Nothing screams noise pollution like a flushing toilet at night. Haven't they heard of white noise machines? Those things that play rain or ocean sounds? Maybe send them a few thousand. But seriously, imagine the drama. Hosting a dinner party, and it's 9:59 p.m. Do you cut the cheese course short, stage a mass exodus to the nearest gas station? And what about emergencies? You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can't wait until morning. Do you risk the wrath of your neighbors? Or become a stealthy ninja flusher? The possibilities are endless and a bit terrifying. Alright folks, pack your bags because we're heading to Singapore, a country known for its cleanliness, its efficiency, and its intense dislike of chewing gum. That's right, you heard me correctly. Chewing gum. Now, I'm not talking about that weird, gooey stuff your grandpa used to chew. I'm talking about all gum people. Bubblegum, sugar-free gum, even that fancy gum that's supposed to whiten your teeth. It's all illegal in Singapore, can you believe it? It's like they declared war on minty freshness. Apparently, back in the day, people were sticking their used gum everywhere. Under park benches, on sidewalks, even on the sensors of train doors, causing malfunctions. So, the government decided enough was enough. They banned chewing gum altogether. And you know what? It kind of worked. Singapore is now one of the cleanest countries in the world. But still, a world without gum? It's enough to make you want to pop a breath mint and call it a day. Now you might be thinking, Jocey, how do they enforce this crazy law? Do they have gum-sniffing dogs patrolling the streets? Well, they don't have gum-sniffing dogs, as far as I know. But they do have some pretty serious consequences if you're caught with gum. We're talking hefty fines, my friends. And if you're caught smuggling gum into the country, forget about it. You're looking at a one-way ticket to Singapore jail. And trust me, you don't want to mess with Singapore jail. I hear the food is terrible. Just kidding. But seriously, it's no laughing matter. So if you're planning a trip to Singapore, leave your gum at home. And maybe pack a toothbrush and some breath mints just to be safe. Now I know what you're thinking. What if you have a sudden, uncontrollable urge to blow a bubble? What if you're feeling anxious and need something to chew on? Well, I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure chewing on your fingernails is still legal in Singapore. Just don't quote me on that. Okay, people, picture this. You're planning your next big Italian getaway. You're dreaming of pasta, pizza, maybe a gondola ride. But hold on. Before you book that one-way ticket to Falciano del Masico, listen up. Because in this little Italian town, there's one thing you absolutely cannot do. Kick the bucket. You got that right, folks. Dying is strictly prohibited in Falciano del Masico. Can you even imagine? I mean, talk about pressure. Can you imagine living there? You'd be walking around stubbing your toe and thinking, oh no, this is it. This is how it ends. It's enough to make you want to live forever, right? But here's the kicker. Nobody really knows why this law exists. Some say it's a centuries-old decree. Others say it's just a quirky legend. Either way, I'm adding Falciano del Masico to my list of places I'm never going to visit. Now, you might be wondering, how do the residents of Falciano del Masico avoid breaking this law? Well, I've got a few theories. Maybe they've all mastered the art of immortality. I mean, they do have some pretty amazing pasta. Maybe that's the secret. Or perhaps they've got a designated dying zone just outside the city limits. Can you imagine the traffic? Hold on, Grandma. Almost there. Just gotta get past the town line. But in all seriousness, this law, while hilarious, does make you think. Imagine a place where death is so taboo, it's actually illegal. Makes you appreciate the simple things in life, like breathing. So the next time you're feeling a little stressed, just remember the folks in Falciano del Masico who can't even die without breaking the law. And hey, if you ever meet someone from there, ask them about their secret to long life. All right, Canada, we need to talk. You're known for your friendly people, your love of maple syrup, and your interesting laws. And this one takes the cake, or should I say, the nickel. Apparently, in the Great White North, you can't just go throwing around coins willy-nilly. There's a limit to how many you can use in a single transaction. Paying with too many coins can get you into legal trouble. Now, I'm all for using loose change, but this law takes things to a whole new level. There are actual rules about how many nickels, dimes, and quarters you can use at once. Honestly, it sounds like someone in the Canadian government lost a game of Monopoly and decided to take it out on the entire country. I mean, come on, Canada. Give the people what they want. The freedom to pay for their poutine with a bucket full of pennies. Now, you might be thinking, Jocey, this is absurd. Surely nobody's getting arrested for paying with too many coins. And you're right. It's not like the Mounties are out there busting down doors for excessive nickel usage. But the law is the law. And apparently it can cause some real-life headaches. Imagine being a cashier, trying to count out 87 nickels during a busy lunch rush. Or worse, imagine being the customer behind them. Talk about awkward. This law, my friends, is a perfect example of why you should always read the fine print, especially when you're traveling. And it begs the question, what counts as too many coins? Is it a weight thing? A volume thing? Do they have special coin counting scales? The world may never know. But one thing's for sure. I'm sticking to my credit card the next time I'm in Canada. All right, everyone, buckle up because we're heading to Japan, a land of ancient traditions and, wait for it, a law that says you can't be overweight. It's called the Metabo Law. This law isn't about shaming people for their size. It's part of a national health initiative to combat obesity and promote healthy living. Companies and local governments measure waistlines and offer health counseling if limits are exceeded. Now, I know what you're thinking. This Metabo law sounds a little intense, and to be honest, it kind of is. But here's the thing. It seems to be working. Since the law was introduced, obesity rates in Japan have actually decreased. Of course, there are differing opinions on whether the law is effective or even ethical. Some people argue that it's an invasion of privacy, while others praise it for encouraging people to take control of their health. But regardless of where you stand on the issue, you have to admit, the Metabo law is pretty groundbreaking. It makes you wonder if other countries might follow suit. Imagine a world where your health insurance premiums were tied to your waistline. Hey, maybe that's the motivation we all need to finally ditch those late-night snack cravings. Just kidding. Or am I? All right, folks. We're heading over to the UK now, and let me tell you, they've got some fishy business going on. Apparently, it's illegal to handle salmon under suspicious circumstances. Suspicious circumstances? What does that even mean? I mean, is it suspicious if you're eyeing up that salmon at the grocery store a little too long? Do you need to have a full-blown alibi for that piece of smoked salmon in your fridge? So many questions. Maybe they think we're all secret agents, sneaking around with our salmon, whispering coded messages to each other. The salmon is in the mail. Meet me at the fish counter at dawn. I gotta say, this law is a little fishy, even for me. So it seems this law actually dates back to the 1980s when there was a lot of, shall we say, unregulated salmon fishing happening. They were trying to crack down on poaching, which, okay, I get it, we gotta protect our fishy friends. But still, suspicious circumstances? Couldn't they have come up with something a little more specific? Like, no wearing trench coats and sunglasses while buying salmon? Or no whispering the word salmon more than 3 times in a row? Imagine getting pulled over by the salmon police. License and registration, please, and step away from the fish. It'd be like a scene straight out of a comedy sketch. And you know what? This whole thing just makes me crave a bagel and lox even more. So if you see me looking suspicious around a salmon platter, mind your own business, UK. Next stop, the land down under. Australia, we love your beaches, your koalas, and your, strict wedding and funeral laws. That's right, folks. In Australia, it's illegal to disrupt a wedding or funeral. Now, this one might seem like a no-brainer, right? Who in their right mind would want to crash a wedding or a funeral? But apparently, it's a big enough problem that they had to make it a law. I mean, can you imagine? You're about to say I do, and suddenly, bam! A kangaroo on a unicycle crashes through the ceremony. Or you're paying your respects at a funeral, and out of nowhere, a flock of seagulls starts dive-bombing the mourners. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme, but you get the point. Aussies take their celebrations seriously, and they will not tolerate any party fouls. But here's the thing. What exactly constitutes disruption? Is it a loud sneeze? A poorly timed joke? Or do you have to go full-on wedding crasher style to get arrested? Imagine being the wedding crasher police. You'd have to wear a disguise, blend in with the guests, and wait for someone to bust out their best dance moves at the wrong moment. Excuse me, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to step away from the conga line. You're under arrest for excessive celebration. It's a tough job, but hey, someone's gotta do it. And who knows, maybe it's not all bad. I could see myself as a wedding crasher detective, solving mysteries and busting bad dance moves. It was him, officer. I saw him do the Macarena. Bonjour from France. We're talking about a law that's so bizarre, it's almost as strange as that time I tried escargot. Apparently, it's illegal to name your pig Napoleon in France. You heard that right, folks. Napoleon. The emperor, the conqueror, the guy with the really big hat. Not a name you can bestow upon your little piggy pal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would anyone name their pig Napoleon in the first place? Well, it turns out this law has a bit of a history lesson behind it. Back in the day, calling someone pig was considered a huge insult in France. And since Napoleon wasn't exactly known for his sense of humor, well, let's just say he wasn't too thrilled about the comparison. So, in 1804, Napoleon decided to make it illegal to name a pig after him. I guess he figured it was the only way to protect his reputation from those pesky pig comparisons. And the best part? This law is still in effect today. That's right, folks, over 200 years later, and you can still get in trouble for giving your pig the imperial treatment. Can you imagine the courtroom drama? Your Honor, my client pleads not guilty. He simply thought Napoleon was a fitting name for his prize-winning hog. I don't know about you, but I think this law is hogwash. I mean, come on, it's 2025. Let the pigs have their moment in the sun, even if that moment involves being named after a famous French emperor. All right, folks, buckle up because we're heading to Quitman, Georgia. Population, you guessed it, a whole lot of chickens. Apparently, someone in Quitman got tired of playing real-life Frogger with these feathered friends because they made it illegal for chickens to cross the road. Can you even imagine? I mean, talk about a tough law to enforce. What are they gonna do, give the chickens tickets? Excuse me, ma'am, your chicken just jaywalked. That'll be a $50 fine, payable in corn kernels. And what about the poor chickens? Don't they have the right to roam free and pursue their dreams? Maybe one of those chickens was on its way to an important meeting. Maybe it was late for a date. We may never know. Now, I'm not sure what the official reason behind this law is, but I have a few theories. Maybe Quitman is secretly run by a bunch of cats who are just trying to keep their snack options off the streets. Or maybe it's all a big misunderstanding. Maybe the chickens were trying to start a flash mob, and the town council just overreacted. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. Quitman, Georgia is not messing around when it comes to poultry traffic control. They've got those chickens crossing the road under strict supervision, or at least they're trying to. And you know what? I kind of respect that. It's good to have rules, even if they seem a little, shall we say, for the birds. But seriously, Quitman, if you need someone to mediate this whole chicken crossing crisis, you know where to find me. I'm a pretty good negotiator, especially when there are snacks involved. Next stop, Thailand! Land of smiles, delicious food, and apparently a very strong respect for currency. That's right, in Thailand, it's illegal to step on money. Now I know what you're thinking. Jocey, you can't step on money, it's flat! And you're right, it is physically impossible to step on money. But in Thailand, it's more about showing respect for the image of the king, which is printed on their currency. It's like accidentally stepping on a picture of someone you admire, it's just not cool. Now, I'm not sure how strictly this law is enforced. Do they have money police patrolling the streets, ready to pounce on unsuspecting tourists? Do they make you do a little dance of apology if you accidentally graze a bill with your shoe? I imagine it's probably more about education and cultural sensitivity. But still, it makes you think twice about where you step, right? You don't want to be caught in a cash-tastrophe while on vacation. So if you're planning a trip to Thailand, remember to watch your step. And if you see a stray baht bill on the ground, do what I would do. Pick it up, dust it off, and treat yourself to a nice plate of pad thai. Just make sure you don't drop any of it on the floor. So there you have it, guys. Some of the weirdest laws that still exist in 2025. Remember, while these laws might seem strange, they all have their reasons. Even if those reasons involve chickens with a penchant for crossing the road or a deep respect for the king's image on currency. Live free, enjoy life, and don't let these weird laws get you down. And remember, if you're ever in doubt, just ask yourself, what would Jocey do? The answer, by the way, is usually smile and dance. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Troll Hub 360 for more crazy content. See you next time.